A ver, ¿qué teníamos que hacer? No me acuerdo. No sé ni por dónde. Ah, sí, queríamos hablar con este tipo. Hablemos con este tipo.
As you approach, the man turns and greets you with a polite wave.
Es verdad que queríamos preguntarle sobre la de la... Según bueno, le he dicho a...
Ah, super. It's the officer. I was not expecting to run into you again, but things have a funny way of turning out, no? What brings you down to the scenic Martinez coast? My friend, if it's la responsabilité you're after, I have good news for you. There's no need to form such a committee, because it already exists.
¿Existe?
God, of course it does. These moral intern types.
The Comité de Responsabilité de Revachol. It acts as a sort of clearinghouse for coalition activities. To put it simply, they are the ultimate arbiters of la responsabilité in this part of the world.
Yes, this is just the sort of reasonable authority you're looking for.
I would offer to connect you with the committee myself, but alas, I am not actually in Martinez.
What? Where is he then? He's speaking figuratively. He means he's not in Martinez in his official capacity.
Précisément. Officially, I am still in La Delta, preparing for an upcoming conference on fuel oil derivatives. That's why it would be extremely irregular, or potentially even inappropriate for me to intercede with the committee concerning a district I'm not officially in. Well, under ordinary circumstances, the committee contacts you.
In other words, the committee only knows what it wants to know.
But if you have information of a vital interest, they might be willing to entertain an exception. In which case, I would advise you to contact them via Coalition Warship Archer. This is quite the problem. Very tricky. Of course, the Archer has orders to fire on any unidentified aerostatics that might approach it, so it might be safer to get in touch from the ground.
Sobre el hilato del Elysium. Esto debería de preguntarle dentro de un día. Esto ya lo tengo hecho. Esto ya que estoy en el norte debería de buscar.
But in that case, you would require a radio transmitter capable of broadcasting on coalition frequencies. And that kind of technology naturally isn't typically available for non-coalition use. Yes, it is a bit of a conundrum. I suppose there might be some way to circuit bend your way onto those frequencies, but you'd have to be one of those techno-tinkerers to do it. That, my friend, is your responsibility. I cannot take it from you, nor can you delegate it to someone else.
Sounds like something that programmer we met in the church might be able to help with.
Let me just say that I have complete confidence in the RCM. I'm sure you'll figure something out. Always my pleasure to be of assistance to the RCM. Godspeed, and if we don't meet again, bonne chance.
Bueno, luego podemos hablar con la... Pero tenemos que peinar la costa. Asume la responsabilidad. ¿Encuentra alguien con conocimiento técnico? Vale, el mapa. Quiero el mapa. Esto es el norte, entiendo. Por aquí tiene que estar. Vamos a quitarnos esto de la mano. Entonces hay que peinar la costa. Aquí no puedo ir, ¿no?
Hello, hello. What can I do for you, officer?
Nada. A ver cómo se puede acceder ahí. Plan. Ah, tal vez desde aquí. No lo sé.
There's some tear. Por ahí. You pick up the handset. There's a tone. The machine is operable. Ahora podemos entrar aquí a preguntar, pero quiero seguir dando vueltas. Ah, es que yo pienso que hay posibilidades de que pueda estar aquí, la Ruby. An old door, worn by elements, guards the depot. The wind has blown a sand.
Es conectividad. 7 de conectividad. Opa. Ahora tendría 8 de conectividad.
An old door, worn by elements, guards the depot. The wind has blown a sand dune in front of it. The door hasn't been opened in a long while.
It's military. Probably something that is no longer there.
Tal vez necesitamos un barco para ir al islote. Voy a preguntarla. Por aquí no se puede continuar, ¿no? Vale. Vamos a preguntarle a esto ya que estamos. Connor Monty Clown.
Fantastic.
Vale, Connor. ¿Qué tal andas tú, bro?
Oh, hey man, it's good to see you. Goodbye, officer.
Yes, what is it?
Is this organic?
Hola, Mar, ¿qué tal estamos? No sé lo que es la palidez, pero...
You're asking me to circuit bend onto a coalition radio frequencies. You want to know, is it possible? Probably. But is it a good idea? I'm not so sure. The main difficulty will be finding an antenna
Pues,
powerful
a punto de ir a
enough to use those
dormir.
frequencies. Unfortunately, you
¿Qué
can't
te ha leído lo
capture
de
microwave
lo
antennas
que tenías
on the
esta
shelf.
mañana?
She's not joking. Even the RCM has to receive special approval from the coalition to access that kind of equipment.
I highly doubt it. That tower is barely able to transmit shortwave signals across the bay. To generate megalow frequencies, we're going to need a much larger antenna.
She has an idea, though. You can see the tiny signal lights firing inside her brain.
I don't see any alternative. We're just going to have to build the antenna ourselves.
Joder, qué putadilla, ¿no? Pero bueno.
We need metal, a lot of it. The taller the structure, the better. Something that is both prominent and easily accessible. If it's near a power source, even better.
¿Qué idea es? Espera.
Yes, what is it?
Abstracción. Tengo algo que me dé abstracción. Unas gafas que me den abstracción. Autoridad, empatía, enciclopedia, electroquímica, percepción. Algo que me dé abstracción. Soy un polisoso, ¿qué se le va a hacer? Al menos está a 10 minutos en coche y mañana puente. Ojito. Ya ves, Abstracción, gestión, abstracción, teatralidad, retórica, abstracción. Esto me da abstracción. De momento voy a ponerme los guantes estos. Esto me da también abstracción, ¿no? Nos ponemos abstracción. Lógica no me interesa. Pues sí, podemos estar bien.
Yes, what is it?
Close your eyes. Unfold your mental map of Martinez. It's morning. You're standing on the plaza before the whirling in rags. Your eye follows the tiles west. You see a bench, and a few twisted, pitiful trees. Then, just water. Beyond the unkempt backyard rises a monstrous assemblage of concrete, plaster, and corrugated sheet metal. You turn around. The morning sun is blinding. You bring your hand to your brow, and a great shadow materializes before you. A towering beast, frozen in mid-air.
The dead king and his horse. It could work. We'll need an adequate power supply and a great quantity of cable. If we connect the cables to some of the stranded lorries, we could theoretically increase the antenna's wavelength exponentially.
Whatever ambivalence she had about your project before, she's now fully engaged in solving this technical puzzle.
Quiet. I'm doing maths. Yes, assuming we can find just a few pieces of equipment. It's completely ridiculous, but I believe we could transform the entire roundabout into one solid fractal antenna.
A note of awe in her voice. She's shocked and pleased by her own audacity.
Very well. I will get straight to the point then. I have plenty of cables and amplifiers on hand. The power supply, I will secure on my own. All we require now is the radio transceiver itself.
¿Dónde consigo eso?
I cannot answer that for you, but I don't expect it to be that difficult. There's no shortage of radios around here. If you have real to spare, you might even be able to buy one. But it doesn't really matter where it comes from, so long as it works.
And before you ask, no, you can't have the radio from Machinima.
That sounds like a perfectly adequate radio. In the meantime, I will gather the rest of the materials. We will meet back here when you have it.
Vale, tenemos que buscar un Vale, tenemos que ir ahí, podemos esto. Tenemos que hacer esto. Atracción menos sugestión. Quiero otra vez mis ropas de... Bitcoin más visión espacial. ¿Qué nos ponemos? Me gusta esta camisa simplemente. Esto me da abstracción. No me quita sugestión. Esto me da abstracción simplemente. No me gustan las ropas que quitan de verla de esta forma. Ah, no. Sí, Monty, ¿vos votaste para la Game Award? No. No creo mucho en esas cosas. Ah, sí. A ver. Yo creo que hay que subirnos en el barco y mirar en la isleta. Porque aquí estamos comiéndonos los mocos. Ah, sí. Ah, pues podría estar bien. Vamos a preguntarle a ella.
Waves are beginning to die down. Look at those little bastards. Simmer down. Simmer down, bastards.
No quiero...
Oh? Who? Okay. When did this person stay here? Oh.
Esto ya lo dijimos.
Yes, that's the optimal time. Sorry I couldn't help you out. Maybe I can help you find... Well, how can I assist you then, officer?
Y se pregunta a ella de que me lleve al lugar.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? Not an umbrella, I hope. I don't need one myself, you see. Sadly, I need this one myself. It's hydrophobic, repels water. Almost magically. The company makes them for offshore platform personnel. Very sturdy. What I can do for you is answer some questions. Nothing like talking to pass a rainy day. Well, technically speaking, I'm not on it right now. Good.
¿Cuánto tengo en sugestión? Tengo uno. Tengo que subirme sugestión más. El siguiente nivel me lo subo en sugestión o a conectividad. Uno de los dos. Por aquí no. Ahora le vuelvo a preguntar a él.
The dome-shaped plastic buoy bobs up and down in the water amidst the You lift the buoy out of the water with a shot glass.
Well, damn. I have no idea. I wouldn't go so far as to say that. Might have been...
You could ask the miss what she thinks.
Ya lo dijimos. Lo único que se me ocurre es esa zona.
Hello again. Sure, what's on your mind? Oh, I'm afraid it didn't end well for the boys. But this story is a bit too dark for little Mikhail here. Now, if you were to ask about tape computers...
He means that the boys got shot by the communists. The boys were bourgeois.
Officer, I told you this chapter of history wasn't on Mikhail's curriculum yet. Let's keep this kid friendly.
The boy looks first at you, then back at his father.
Qué pábil el niño.
Confused.
Yes, they even built a pleasure wheel, but that got destroyed in the war.
A pleasure wheel?
Yes, to lure in their star engineers. But of course, what else? No, I'm afraid I can't.
So you haven't seen anyone?
No, I'm sorry.
Esto ya
He's
nos
telling the
preguntamos.
truth.
Mi pregunta es... ¿Cómo podría entrar ahí?
Yes? What do you want to know? You mean like a brief? Do you want me to brief you? 3 days ago, the RCM Emergencies Desk received a report about a security guard who was found hanged in Martinez. An anonymous caller said there was a dead body behind the Whirling in Rags hostel cafeteria. During that time, the victim had been stripped of his They class here as... There's a strong prejudice against involving the RCM in what's seen as union matters. The doc work... Just to be clear, we are police officers. It's our job to find the killer. That's the case. Uncover and arrest the killer.
Paseo marítimo, esto también podemos buscarlo.
Good.
Signos de disparo. El paseo marítimo. Porque donde lo tengo... Por los viejos tiempos.
A row of ghostly shades facing a crumbling wall, with another 7 shades standing 10 meters from them. A cold sea.
No sé, ¿se vuelve a hablar?
Always my pleasure. Always my pleasure to be of assistance to the RCM.
Autoguardado.
always a pleasure. I mean, officers.
No me interesa este tipo.
You see, a slogan used to intertwine with the loop above the mural, a collapsed roof, broken windows set in walls that are cracking and will soon also fall, and the coastal breeze rustling and sighing. And the room felt electrical. How ironic. All these dark rooms. Feld Electrical, you only know them as a small company that makes ink cartridges. Looks like they used to be big. There's something in the wind. Sometimes the only way to go forward is to fail first.
In there? She could. Or she could be in the identical room over there, or in that boat shack, in that church tower maybe.
Why single out this one building?
Vale, escalofríos, me puedo subir escalofríos. Resistencia, por ejemplo. Esto me da escalofríos. Esto también me da escalofríos. Esto es escalofríos. -1 de escalofríos.
The once bright mural towers above you, saying, Feld Electrical, R&D. Tomorrow is just a whisper away. Suddenly, all is quiet.
Loco, que tengo alta probabilidad, no me fastidies, juego. ¿Y por qué juegas poco tú, Benja, por cierto?
The once bright mural, even though you're sure you succeeded, all is quiet. There is no cold hand brushing against your forehead, no rustle in the reeds. The wind has died down. The ruin in front of you is silent as a tomb. Trying to talk to the wind, the city, whatever you thought would happen, did not. And now you're just standing there with your hands fallen to your side. Is trying to talk to the city something you've done before? Is it in your secret repertoire? A trick for when you're out of ideas?
How do we? I was really hoping she'd be in the village. Okay. She's probably north of the village, and this place is a peninsula. We've already talked to the cryptozoologists. Working with them might give us a good excuse to run around, give us some structure. And then there's the church. We've already searched that and can rule it out. I know it doesn't feel like progress, but exclusion is a step too. Anyway, we do it the old-fashioned way, sector by sector. Go over the whole peninsula, ask the locals, enter the places where we can enter first, like we did in the village. Then, if we're desperate, we can look where we can't enter. Bunkers, storm drainage, this place. I'm sure it won't come to that.
Walk the coast, the old boardwalk, the reeds. You can always come back here and talk to the wind again. Look, an adventure
perdón.
awaits.
Perdón, es que
An
los fríos no te
adventure
dejo
on the
terminar.
windswept urban coast. Buckle up and raise your collar. This search is going to be wet and cold.
Porque tengo... Ah, vale, porque tengo la camisa que me sube. ¿Subos conectividad? Volvemos a preguntar.
The once bright mural towers above you, saying, Feld Electrical, R&D. Tomorrow is just a whisper away. A breeze, like a quiet...
Vamos a volver a repetir la tirada.
The once bright mural towers above you, saying, Feld... Suddenly, there's a sigh, carried on the molecules around you, moving, flowing from high pressure to low pressure, like that of a woman emptying her lungs. She wraps the collapsing stone box in front of you in her breath, flowing through it. In through the collapsed roof, flowing down a concrete staircase to the basement, sweeping away footprints in the dust on the stairs, and then the beach below the boardwalk, its winding tunnels, a whisper away.
She's down there.
Okay. Why? Good, yes. Cold spells. So basically your hangover is telling you she's down there? Right. How do we get in there? The doors were on the collapsed side of this building. They're gone, basically.
Finally, my time to shine.
Perhaps you can climb them. We are not climbing anything. I'm 43 years old, and I plan to live to see 70.
La esperanza de vida aquí es de 70 años. Parece...
There has to be a way to use
Bueno, son los
brute
50.
force.
Y no...
Climbing sounds unsafe. Brute force is safe. Look around and find something to break if the ladder fails.
A ver... Vamos a ver cuánto cuesta cada cosa. Esto seguro que es
A
el flor.
rusty ladder leads to the rooftop. Some of the rungs are missing.
Yeah, that doesn't look good at all.
The distances between the remaining rungs are rather wide. You'd have to use the mounting brackets. However, they seem corroded and the peeling rust is razor sharp.
Parece muy arriesgado.
In addition, the first rung is going to be tough to reach. It's what, 3 meters above the ground?
No.
180?
Creo
Not
que
to
no.
mention that the roof is collapsing and the wind gets pretty brutal up there. Dismounting from the ladder is going to be hard. Perhaps if you were to not climb the ladder. Instead, what if you were to do something more subtle? What if you were to reconceptualize climbing the ladder?
Y si no es caro. Y si me quedo el bordo.
Teleportation is not a thing. This really has nothing to do with adventure. We are dealing with basic physics here. Oh yes, it could hurt. A lot.
¿Esto qué tiene que ver? Un momento. A
The
ver,
rusty ladder leads to the rooftop.
tengo que subirme. Las gafas esas me daban, ¿no? Las gafas estas son las que me dan más swag.
The The rusty ladder leads to the rooftop. All you need to do is close your eyes and concentrate. Darkness enfolds you. You can feel the distance between the bench and the first rung of the ladder. All you need to is... Zoot, zap, pow, crinkle. It's like magic. You feel yourself disappear. Your atoms fading out of existence.
Tengo curiosidad por cómo me teletransportando.
Oh my god, I can't believe it.
Bam! You find yourself on the roof, having mastered the art of physical displacement.
¿Cómo me he teletransportado, loco? ¿Cómo me he teletransportado? Ay, que me he roto de todo esto. Ay, mis esquemas, mis pobres esquemas. Te encuentras en el tejado, habiendo dominado el arte del movimiento físico. ¡He conseguido aquí! ¡Me he teletransportado! No regodearte, quedarte ahí plantado con dos de maestro semanal, ¿no?
You know, for the record, you didn't teleport there. You just climbed the ladder with your eyes closed.
The wind at the top of the building starts howling loudly, blowing away the lieutenant's voice. Faintly you hear.
¡Ay, no! ¡No! Ay, no sé lo que ha dicho, no. Ay, es que me está riendo muy fuerte. Vale, vamos a ponernos la ropa de siempre. Plan... ¿Dónde está mi camisa normal? Quiero mi pajarita. Ahí estamos. Ay. Consta que me transporto. Ay. Hostia, aquí entonces no sé qué te has teletransportado. Oye, aquí no vamos a hablar de... ¿No crees que debíamos de hablar cómo te has teletransportado tú aquí? Bueno, supongo que has subido también por la escalera. Entonces... no creo que puedo vender. Ay, qué risa, joder. No me esperaba reírme tan fuerte. Ah, podría salir por aquí. Ah, por aquí puedo salir.
This isn't just glass. These are old computation components. Yes, filament memories. From the time when wires were cast in glass, slides with an inlaid nervous system. The how was a closely guarded secret. Something that was locked in safes in human heads across the river where they were manufactured. As to why, your fingers don't know.
No, que me ha saltado ahora también las conectividades. Mira, luego debería de subirme su gestión todo que puedo.
The why is easy, because they hadn't come up with modern silicon-based systems yet. For vitreous cast filament memories, though, these seem incredibly advanced.
So it is. I think these used to form a single system, slotted in the wall. The rest of the building seems to have been picked clean. These? No. These are old filament memories. I hope you're not expecting to find that device here. You will be disappointed.
Sugestión. Me da sugestión. La chaqueta esta, de momento no me iría mal, que tengo poca sugestión. A ver cómo me quedaría. No, ahora soy el doctor. Perdón, me vuelvo a poner. En verdad me encaja, me es más parecido, pero es que esto me da dos cosas a la vez. Me da speed y visión espacial. Gorro de revolucionario. Más una sociedad mazo viola. Necesito ponerme el gorro de... No entendé.
This hat is so soft, so warm. It wraps around your head, and your mind tingles with all manner of socio-economic theory. Kraz Mazov would have worn this, Yushenka. Mazov knew where to cook those thoughts. That's why it bears a Mazovian logo. Glory to the revolution, comrade. Whether you like it or not, wearing this hat has made you more communist.
Tiene sentido.
A mustachioed and mutton-chopped man, amateurishly depicted, gazes at you with sad eyes. A plaque reads, K. Mazov. There is a spiderweb in the lower left corner of the portrait. Years' worth of dust is shaken off. The full head of hair, matched by an ample moustache and sideburns, look a bit silly.
Yes. Looks like some latter-day radicals were hiding out here. They left a long time ago. Half a century? This was probably part of the network of defense posts the communards built against the amphibious landing. I think the purpose of this bunker was to produce propaganda. It would have had radio equipment back then, but that's all been looted. We have found a lot of those lately. I guess what most people think of as history tends to linger in rundown neighborhoods. Martinez being what it is, no one has gone through the trouble of cleaning out the old bunkers.
Good hiding place for someone who's up to no good.
I won't stand in your way, but only after we're through with this case. Millions of depictions of Mazov have been produced. They're not all connected. Besides, that looked like some student. The youths always go for this kind of stuff. You mean like Ruby? No, I think we've stumbled on a piece of history.
Could this have been the killer's hideout? And this narrow window, the point of origin of the shot that killed the mercenary? Outside the window, another day. The beach sand soaks up the drizzling rain, growing darker and darker.
Ojo, muchísimas gracias por esa raid, Roll 6. ¿Qué tal?
It's a great place to hide. And Mazovianism and murder are certainly not mutually exclusive. But there hasn't been anyone here in ages.
Y vengo con la raid. Muchísimas gracias. Un montón. Royfix. Jejeje. ¿Cuánto que...? A ver... Pero a ver... Vale, sí. He metido mal en esto. Perdón, he metido un espacio donde no era porque soy tonto. ¿Cuánto? Ahora. ¿Por qué tengo tantos puntos cuando estoy yo en este canal? El poder de la magia, el poder del amor. Buenas, soy Monty, soy un streamer que hace variedad. Ahora mismo estamos con Disco Elysium, un juego de... un RPG, un rol de toda la vida. Tenemos que descubrir... tenemos que resolver un asesinato. Y estamos en busca de una supuesta... bueno, de una sospechosa. Ya lleva como 3 días desaparecida desde el crimen. Y estamos explorando el norte de la zona. Y bueno, nos hemos encontrado con lo que parece ser un antiguo búnker de la guerra.
Indeed. No one could get a clear view. Well,
¿Qué tal ha ido el directo, por cierto, Rollfix? Has jugado Firewatch. Ah, qué buen juegazo. Muy buen juegazo. Tengo que jugar alguna vez en directo. Lo jugué hace muchísimo tiempo. Pero Firewatch es muy buen juego también. Bastante de historia como esta. En efecto, desde aquí nadie tenía una visión clara. Bueno, al menos hemos sido minuciosos. Me gusta ser minucioso.
In fact, I think we're done with this bunker. After you, officer.
De hecho, creo que hemos acabado con este búnker. Mira hacia la salida después de ustedes. Vale. ¡Comunismo! ¡El comunismo! Vamos a guardar. Pero por aquí se esconde la chica, por lo menos eso es lo que había captado mediante increíbles deducciones. Huellas en las botas de arena. Es un juego cortito, de chill, a la vez tiene una buena historia. Con el tal. Vale, aquí tenemos que ir por otra parte. Vamos, Kim. Por aquí, un momento. Yo me retiro por aquí. Mucha suerte con el stream. Muchísimas gracias, Rolfix, por la raid. Podríais enseguir a Rolfix si juega a Juegardos.
There it is again, like a swarm of hornets buzzing under your scalp. A strange tingling you can almost smell.
No, what do you mean? I don't feel it, but we should still be careful. There were footprints back there, and I'm pretty sure they were fresh. Looks like our suspect. If she's in here, we need to plan our next step carefully. Once we detain a credible suspect, who knows what the Union and the Wild Pines will do? We'll set in motion events we have no control over.
You will upset the balance of power in Martinez. The deadlock between the company and the Union will destabilize.
Eso es verdad, ¿eh?
This part of town is a fine clockwork puzzle. Disturb its peace, and it will start breaking down uncontrollably. Keep calm. Go over the whole situation in detail.
Well, we are not responsible for what we can't predict, are we? I don't think the entire city will be razed to the ground.
If you can't predict it, there's nothing you could have done.
You think we should finish running it now? Maybe you're right. It might not be as useful later.
It's a minor point. Don't worry too much about this. There are bigger fish.
You mean Morel? I don't see how cryptozoology and the murder investigation are connected, but the situation in the city will get tense for everyone.
If it gets that tense, the amateur zoologists might not be able to do their job.
Yes, there won't be time for that once things go down. Matter of fact, I don't think there's time for it now, but... You're right. However corrupt he may be, nothing happens in Martinez without him knowing. We might have to dirty our hands, but...
In this case, we can't afford to be squeaky clean.
I think I see a cavern. Maybe more cellars? I think we've been careful enough. We still have the element of surprise.
I wouldn't be so sure. You haven't exactly been sneaking.
Or maybe not. Either way, once we go deeper, there will be no turning back.
Esto es un... A partir de aquí ya no hay...
Two rusty metal plates that slide apart form a crude door. It's been here under the boardwalk for a while.
What do you mean, who's there? It's me, Kim. Stop playing around and help me get it over.
The doors...
Había entrado por ahí porque se había teletransportado. Ay, por Dios.
You
Bueno.
grab a side and put some strength into prying it open. With the help of your partner, the two metal panels slide open with a creak.
Huh. I hope no one dangerous heard that. After you climbed up to the roof, you mean? There's a maintenance entrance under the boardwalk. It's next to a drain pipe, possibly a storm drain. It was easy to miss before. Yes, we have an exit, so let's get going. Time to investigate these passages.
Podríamos... Esto no pertenece al sindicato. Esto podemos ayudar a los criptozoólogos ahora mismo. Esto me falta... Esto no intentamos... Esto... En sí no importa, es decir... Vamos a quitarnos... Ya, esto.
Hello, hello. What can I do for you, officer? I didn't expect you to take such an interest in our work here, officer.
Why not? At least it will give us the excuse to look into a lot of reads.
That it will. That it absolutely will. I hope you brought your good boots. There are 4 in total. One is to the south, on this little peninsula, by the boathouses there. Another we set in Land's End, to the northeast. It's behind a small sand dune there. On your way to the old radio tower, after the church. The third is set near the canal, where you crossed, by a concrete slab. A big thicket of reeds going up the slope. You should check at least one of those before returning to this one, since I just said it. Bring it to me at once. Just make sure the trap is closed tight.
He's not comfortable with the possibility that you'll claim the find, but he's lying about this even to himself.
That's highly unlikely, officer. But in the event you do, I'll spray you with a pheromone mixture I developed. It's made of musk and research chemicals. The pheromone should attract the insect to you, or at least prevent it from bolting at the sight of you. It's quite potent. Will last you about a week.
I hope you're not buying this. He dispenses it without letting you touch the canister, so it would be precious like holy water.
It is precious.
Right.
Finally, someone's talking sense.
Thank you for your help. Gary and I will start breaking down.
If it's more cryptid-related business you want to discuss, you'll have time for that later too. But what if the information is vital? On the hunt.
Al noroeste. Por ahí era. No, para qué no era.
An old door, worn by elements, guards the depot. The wind has blown a sand dune in front of it. The door hasn't been... You rattle the handle a bit, then push on the door with all your weight. It does not budge. Not only is it locked.
We don't get in there. Frankly, you're just going to have to accept the fact that you can't get in through every single door.
No. We've gotten into every door thus far. That's what we do. We open doors. We're cops. That's our perk. Even Everard knew that's a part of our MO.
Relax. No one's hiding in there. If we can't open it, others can't either. And thus they can't get in.
At least you can think about opening it. About doors in general. They are, after all, fundamental to your life. Perhaps something you...
Entrada suba. Joder. Este me hubiese gustado. Y por olvidarme de esta idea y ponerme el de las puertas.
There's a trap in the reeds at your feet. Looks like the same one you saw Morel set before. The reeds shake sadly in the coastal breeze, weighed down by rain. The wind picks up here, near the cape's end, surrounding the narrow strip of land from 3 cardinal directions. It's cold for this time of year. Locusts are crawling around in the trap, confused but uneaten. You see no carnivorous reed phasmid gorging on them.
Big surprise. Anyway, 1 down, 3 to go.
You set the apparatus back on the... Nothing has changed.
Porque autoridad, claro. Ventajas por ideas. Me puedo quitar. Y por olvidarme de la idea comunista. La suerte que llevo el sombrerito este. Es una socioeconomía. Me lo puedo quitar. Quiero un pez. Monty, dime... ¿Ya te vas a hacer directo? ¿No muy pronto para ti? Vale, por aquí no está. Vale. ¿Cómo lo supo? Porque soy un maestro. Es un mago. Vale, no está tan lejos como en mi cabeza pensaba que estaban.
A familiar apparatus lies among... Behind you, a ruined residential building looms over the reeds, shielding them from the wind. They rustle confidentially, in tune with the pitter-patter of the rain.
Mi modo de jugar de Z.
This trap is also full of panicked locusts. No...
Another empty trap.
Neither does.
Donde los propios...
This is the trap Morel just set. The reeds by the... It's good the cryptozoologists left. This isn't a very cozy place to stay night after night. The later it gets, the colder. Remnants of the camp can still be seen in the sand. The fire that's gone out. You feel strange, somehow. Nothing but locusts in this trap as well. Definitely no cryptozoological monstrosity.
Empty as all of them. One more of these and we're done. No, I'm fine. I didn't mean to complain. It's just...
Nos queda uno. Sudeste de la aldea pesquera. Me suena. Sudeste. Ahí está.
It takes you a moment. The reeds bend forlornly toward the sand. Some tufts have been crushed. The broken stalks seem like a rebuke. The sound of the city hums in the east. The constant, distant song, louder on this part of the coast, nearer somehow. And the trap feels light and silent as you pick it up. Something is different here. No locust. No phasmid either, but still.
Well, the bait worked on something. This doesn't mean it was a reed monster, though. Unless you see one in there. I just see an empty trap.
Ya ves.
The
Pero...
netting is a little untidy, messier than the others. Like someone or something picked up the trap and shook it before dropping it back down on the ground.
Perhaps our cryptozoologists have competition in the form of an actual entomologist, or someone else is sabotaging them. I could present more theories, but then I would be taking this on as a case, which I'm not. Okay, but after that we get back to our own assignments. We've done a thorough survey of the coast now.
A cold gust of air dries your sweaty face, and you look to the dark shadow
No te
of the
preocupes,
felled
que...
building in the distance, drawing you to it.
Vale. Ya tenemos... Si me las sombras, la última trampa está vacía. Regresa... Vale, esto tengo... Asume la responsabilidad. Esto es... Tengo que... Busco un trasvase y vuelvo a la iglesia. Eso sé dónde está. Esto no sé cómo ir a la isla. Esto puedo intentar... Isabel es la... Bueno, un momento, voy a buscar porque me falta una de las dos. A ver, a ver si las he visto. Isabel... ¿Dónde está? ¿Cómo? La otra es Liliana. Vale, no, Liliana es la tal. Entonces Isabel es la mujer. No sé por qué me he metido aquí. Para haceros perder el tiempo, chicos. Era la oscura, ¿verdad?
Our tenant, the policeman, I hope the waves don't keep you up at night. Me? No one. Just an old washerwoman. Mother called me Isabel, if that's what you're asking. And my married name is Sadie. Now it's your turn, Mr. Quite a handle you got there. So many titles. One of them double. Eh? What's this about? Come now, I can't read all the scribble. Tell me what it says. Huh, I might be half blind, but it looks like part of the village is gonna be a street. The best part. The part we need to get out of our houses. I see Lillian's name is already here. The girl is too trusting. Either way, I won't sign union papers. I've seen it all before. You think they've got our interests at heart? Rich men are always selling poor men promises they never plan to keep. Then the poor get pushed out of their homes and the rich get a little richer. That's the way it goes. So no, I don't trust the fat man, and neither should you.
In her mind, the Union is right-wing because Everard is fat. It's that simple, and there's no change in it. She is headstrong, but there's a slight hesitation in there. You may be able to convince her.
Podemos coger el mapa. Maravillosa la música de este juego. Y como me están reclamando, bueno, me están diciendo derechos de autor en todos los vídeos de YouTube.
It's great to see you again, officer. My wife can't wait to thank you. Go on.
Oh, sweetie, I don't even know how to thank you for finding my husband and helping
Buenas,
him out.
Mansifota, ¿cómo
I hope we
estamos?
haven't been too much trouble for you. Here, I want to give you a small token of my gratitude. It's a tie.
Aquí,
Mexican origin.
al
The pin is an
resguardo.
antique.
Hace
Quite
mucho
special.
frío, entiendo.
The little silvery knob holding the tie together feels warm in your hand. It's in the shape of an avian skull with 8 eyes.
Oh, qué guapa la
You
corbata,
could
¿no?
ask her about this when you get the time. It's probably a cryptid, but the phasmid, of course, is...
Un momento. A ver. Mundo interior más voluntad. Más 2 de teatro. Pierdo. Pero es que tengo bastante teatralidad. Es decir, tengo 5 de. Creo que mundo interior. Su gestión me debería de subir. Aunque tal vez olvidar esta idea también sea interesante. ¿Cómo estás tú? Jugando aquí el disco Elysium viendo. Voy a olvidar esta idea. Bueno, antes de hacer cualquier cosa. Sociedad mazoviana. Adiós a ser comunistas, gente. Y quiero... Socialismo o barbarie. Una puerta más. A 45 minutos.
Nothing like the gratitude of a good woman. Now then, what can I do for you?
He tries to play it cool, remain professorial, but inside, this man is itching for some news on those traps.
Good. Okay. And? Completely empty?
Surprise, tempered with fear and trepidation. He doesn't know what to think yet. Maybe you're joking?
No locusts?
That's not ideal, but...
It just means the Insulindian phasmid is even more clever than we thought.
Okay, yo qué sé. Okay.
She's engaging in a well-known self-deception called motivated reasoning. You should correct them.
Sí, que se inventan una lógica que sigue justificando su razonamiento principal. Mucho texto, que a ver, es texto, pero como está narrado y hay cosas.
Of course, more clever.
Yes, the Phantasmadeia picked off the locusts and escaped. This is good news, though we'll have to reconsider the design of the traps. Make them more secure.
Es decir, estos han como el hecho de no creer que exista la criatura no es una opción viable, han elegido un razonamiento que siga sustentando su primera.
Another trip to the reeds.
I appreciate your concern, officer, but please leave this to the experts. Unless you have an alternative hypothesis you'd like to venture. Actually, no. Excuse me for getting emotional. This is a big deal for us. You've helped us twice now, and brought some great news too. My gratitude, and the gratitude of the Société Cryptozoologique de Ravachol, is yours.
Heartfelt gratitude. But does it feel like closure? What really happened? Some kind of foul play might be afoot. Theft?
Thank you, it's an honor. We should probably return to our main investigation here. This has been refreshing, but...
Damn it, Lieutenant. Have you no intellectual curiosity?
Me suelta morir. A ver, tengo un 90 y tantos %.
Hello. Lena and I were just discussing the design of the new trap.
Consider the way the empty trap was disturbed, as though shaken. Most likely the hands of a young person. Hands small enough to fit inside the trap, too. You should ask the red-headed boy, Kuno.
A little hooligan. But what would a child want with bags?
No sé, Kuno va de coca puestas tras cejas. ¿A mí qué me cuentas?
Oh, my dear Morel. You've been an old man for too long. Kids love to torment insects almost as much as they love to torment old folks.
Delinquents, my favorite.
Oh, you've been such a dear to us. Please, let us know whatever you turn up. I have a feeling we're getting so close.
Well, I see you've got all the help you need. I'll see you tonight at my place. Let's play suzerainty, but no more field trips for me.
After this is your last chance to talk to Gary.
Really, Gary? We're getting somewhere here. I'd love to play suzerainty, but...
Lena, I'm sorry, but you're not getting anywhere. It was some kids. I know the little mutants around here. Leave anything out in the open and they'll steal it. Even Morel, it's been fun, really. But I need a bath and I have deliveries to handle. When this tea is done, I gotta run.
No need to apologize, Gary. You'd be more than helpful. We'll have to take a rain check on that game of suzerainty today, though.
He keeps the language unemotional, but it's in there. Disappointment.
A ver, la última cosa que tiene que decirnos.
Very generous of you to help. I mean, officers.
No me importa en verdad el tipo. Sigo sin encontrar mi arma. Bastante curioso. Ay, podemos preguntarle al Kuno de mierda. Es que odio a Kuno, Con todas mis fuerzas le pegaré una patada en la cabeza. Vamos, Kuno.
Kuno saw you wield that can. Sweet graffito action, pig. Kuno likes that delinquent shit. You're still a dink. Now what's your case with Kuno? No, Kuno doesn't give a fuck about bugs.
So he knows locusts are bugs.
Oh my god, I told you that shit is lame!
Shut up, see.
Now they're gonna take you to lame prison! Deny everything, Kuno. You need to lawyer up.
Kuno's not gonna say anything without his lawyer present.
There's definitely something going on here. Remember his pig's head shack? You should check it out.
Kuno doesn't...
Vamos a agachar. Vamos a su esto, a ver qué hay. Luego deberíamos de coger la radio de la oficina.
All around you, the hisses and chirps of locusts fill the musky air. The earthen floor of the shack has been shaped into mounds of mud, dotted with little holes for windows. Like skyscrapers, spires of dirt and sand rising.
Well, detective, it appears you've solved the case of the locusts. For the missing locust case, which is a sub-case of the imaginary insect case. So at least that's going well. Yes, I feel we are nearing a real breakthrough. I'll let you handle the Kuno side of things. You are...
Basta ya, ¿Quién basta ya? Es mi caso de la lango. No te puedes meter con las langos. Habla con Kuno, ¿no? A ver, vamos a decir... Oye, Kuno...
Fuck does Kuno care? Yeah. Kuno took the bugs. So what? It's not Bugtown. It's the city of locusts. Locusts aren't just bug shit. They come out of the sky like a fucking shadow. Shit descends.
Stop!
You stop. It's like their fucking night. Locust City, Night City, City of Rage.
There's a tug of war over the name of his fantastical city. It's almost too big for his imagination. The girl forces herself to watch again, the corners of her eyes twitching from discomfort.
Maybe I am.
Did he just say I? Kuno usually calls Kuno, Kuno.
Kuno made Kuno. Kuno says whatever the fuck he wants. There are no rules here, pig. I fucking say I when I wanna, and Kuno when I wanna. Kuno's free. Kuno's free to fucking die, bitch.
This is what he sometimes does when things get tense.
Oh my god, Kuno! He's gonna make you totally lame in, like, 3 seconds! Don't let him, Kuno!
Yo, fuck you, see? Kuno can be what Kuno wants to be. Kuno's his own man. Kuno's free. Kuno made himself into Kuno. Kuno can make himself into anything. Kuno can make himself into a pig if he wants. Kuno can make himself into a... Kuno doesn't give a shit.
Oh, don't make yourself into a pig, Kuno! You'll have to take me away!
Without a word, she disappears entirely behind the fence. For once, the boy is lost for words. He turns completely red now, with splotches of white beginning to appear across his face. You got him. Now convince him to leave the cryptozoologist's traps alone.
I don't give a shit. I don't need the locusts anyway. Shit is all lame now. C was right.
The girl's face appears again, above the fence, just long enough to make eye contact with Kuno. She doesn't know whether to be glad because Kuno's finally convinced of the lameness, or more worried because of his continued use of the first-person singular. Kuno is Kuno, not I.
The fuck are they trying to catch anyway? With the traps?
He recognizes the name.
Bitches think Kuno doesn't know shit. The fuck out of here. Kuno's tired of this shit.
Vale. Eso. Para que promo esto y ya está. Nos vamos a por la radio.
Hello, officer. I think I almost have it. So
Una charla con los muchachos.
Thank you for telling us, sweetie. This is good news, right?
She acts chipper, but something's changed in her tone. A hidden worry. Something is secretly gnawing at her confidence. It's not this Kuno kid, or the missing locusts. It's something else.
Yeah, you're right. We just need to restock the empty trap. Then we'll need to inspect the traps one more time. And then maybe...
He has a 38-degree fever. His resilience has given way.
Darling, I told you to take it easy. You're getting sick.
You're right, you're right. We can come back next season, when it's warmer.
You can? It's better than having these people get pneumonia on the coast. But after this...
He wants to see this tale through, as much as you. Otherwise, he'd have stopped this already. But he cannot let it drag out after...
Really? It's too much, officer.
What Morel means is we're grateful for your help.
Here's a fresh batch of locusts. They should slide right down the funnel. And thank you again. We will definitely mention you, should this lead to a discovery. I'm not talking co-discovery, of course, but...
Wow. Co-discovery. You'd be famous. You'd show them all. This does.
Objetos. Tengo los dedos congelados, joder. Vale. Como tenemos que ir para allí de todas formas. Un momento. Oh, espera. Vale.
A common office radio, like any of those found in countless waiting rooms, lounges, and other semi-public spaces all over the world.
Un momento, por si acaso.
A common office.
There's usually a little switch somewhere. Ah, yes, it's the one that says release.
The lock disengages with a nice click. You may now safely remove the transceiver unit. There's nothing obviously remarkable about it. It's about the size of a common pasta box, with knobs of molded plastic. What else is there to say? If this transceiver were a person, it would be an accountant at a large logistics firm. Perfectly competent, but unexceptional.
Yes, reliable and unassuming are definitely words I'd use to describe you.
Regardless, the transceiver appears to take your words as a compliment.
You've surprised me more than once during the course of our investigation, but I have to say it still seems like a remote scenario.
With its transceiver gone, the radio has ceased its persistent buzzing.
Necesito otra más y ya podría haberme quitado como... Y sería lo que tendría de normal, que sería uno de base. Bueno, sería 5 menos 2, 3. Podía... ¿Qué es la que me quita la sugestión? Esta, aunque es que esta que me dé 10 y 2 reales es bastante buena. ¿Se puede hacer un viaje por día o por cada X? Vamos a entrar aquí para vender cosas.
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything.
Ya tengo uno.
Sure, let me have a look. Oh, no, I don't know. A photic.
You have absolutely no idea what aphotic baths are.
Anything else you're thinking of selling?
Esto.
Another time, perhaps.
You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinket.
Una pena que no puedo acceder por ahí. Está a punto de terminar. Esperemos. Vale. Está por aquí. Es esta.
The trap stands empty amongst the reeds. No insect sounds or move.
Fantastic.
The locusts, dazed from being transported, slowly begin to acclimate to their new surroundings. They're not really going to get the chance to get comfortable here.
Good. Now that's done. When do you think we will return to our impending apocalypse of a murder investigation? Don't answer that. It was a rhetorical question.
Pobre que tiene que estar hasta los cojones de mí. Pero ¿y si lo descubrimos? Vale, ya. Elena en el... Bueno, luego podemos... Vamos a lo de la radio.
Our tenant, the policeman. I hope the waves don't keep you up at night. What can I help you with?
Nada. Necesito subir más todavía. La sugestión. Necesito ser un maestro de la sugestión. Dios, a topísimo están con la fiesta esta gente.
Yes,
programadora.
what is it? Ah, very good. Let's see what you have. Not the most advanced model, but at least everything appears to be in order. Yes, this should serve our purposes.
No further comment necessary.
I believe that means we're ready to get started. I should warn you, once we begin setting up this antenna, we'll need to see the whole process through. There won't be any second chances, any do-overs. You understand? So if there's anything you'd like to get in order before we depart, I suggest you do it now. That's up to you. At a minimum, I would make sure you are physically and mentally prepared for an intense and difficult process.
At the very least, you should make sure you're wearing a good pair of gloves.
Radio engineers typically carry overpriced solvent sprays to clean the antenna connections. But in a pinch, some common ammonia works just fine. Finally, there's the question of stimulants. Some people prefer to keep legal amphetamines on hand to help with their work. I'm not one of them, but they do exist. I don't take them because they make me nauseous. But everyone has their reasons. I don't judge. Ah, yes. I wasn't sure what to do about that, but then I discovered an abandoned power source down by the edge of the bay.
It's obvious. She's referring to your half-sunken Caprice 40.
Oh, yes. I did notice that it was covered in police livery. Then you already know that the carriage itself is irreparable, but the rear-mounted engine seems to be in fine working order. My intention is to run a power cable from the end. That's fine. Return to me when you're ready to go.
One more door. There is no way to open the supply depot door. Accept it. You cannot open all the doors. You have to integrate this into your character. Some doors will forever remain closed, even if every single other door will open at one time or another. Maybe to a key, or maybe to some sort of tool meant for opening doors. But this one will never accede to such commands. A realization crucial to personal growth. Crucial.
Bueno, se desbloquean las tiras básicas de sí, que es decir, no necesito tirar... no está mal, y menos uno de instinto es mejor que menos 2 de autoridad y menos tal. Así que estoy conforme.
Yes, what is it?
Oh.
Very good. If you'll help me with some of this equipment then.
Back across the waterlock. At least we are getting our exercise in today.
If you'll please carry that amplifier, officer. And if you'll take that spool of cable, we should be able to move it all in one trip.
If you'll please, si vosotros por favor pudiese, ¿no? Bueno. Oficial... Vale, entiendo. A ver qué pasa. ¿En qué momento hemos puesto tantos cables? Hostia, el tipo este.
And now if you'll just connect that here...
It's done. I believe we are ready.
We're ready to try at least. Please put on these headphones. There should be 2 extra sets. I've configured the channels so that only your microphone is set to broadcast, officer. We'll all be able to listen, but anyone we reach will only hear your voice. You will need to transmit your connection request while I attempt to locate the warship's public frequency. You will likely encounter some interference, but it's important to keep transmitting your request until you're acknowledged. Ready? Good.
Vale.
Beginning transmission.
No podemos dudar, gente. He conseguido una más de moral.
Go ahead, officer.
Is there anybody there? The lieutenant looks up at you with a nervous glance. Nervous for who, though? You cannot say.
Try again, officer.
Nein, Liebling. Unseren Jungen nach Redeposten. Einem dieser Dinger.
Marianne hat mir erzählt, dass Oscar nicht mehr derselbe ist, seit er auf einem Luftschiff aus Grad zurückgekommen ist. Natürlich halten ihn die Psychologen für vollkommen normal, aber sie hat das Gefühl, seit seiner Rückkehr mit einem Fremden zusammenzuleben.
You can't make out a word of this gibberish. The rustling of dry autumn leaves, waves breaking at a distance, 1,000 wings beating at once.
Liebling, bitte. Er ist unser einziges Kind. Er kann doch auch nächstes Jahr zur Akademie gehen.
It isn't gibberish, it's vulgar. Now please keep trying.
Momento tenso, estoy tenso.
Again?
It's cold now.
Mention what? I didn't say anything, detective.
¿Cómo?
Someone has been maintaining it. The wiring has been repaired.
Hayan estado proporcionando el mantenimiento. Han reparado el cableado. Sí, parece un montón la voz de aquí.
Uncomfortable silence falls over the connection.
It's been a long winter. Long and cold.
I can assure you it's not my twin brother, though it certainly does sound like me.
I can't say with certainty, but it sounds very much like anthroponetic crosstalk. It happens sometimes when sending transmissions across long stretches of Pale.
Ah, yes, of course. That must be it.
¿Qué? No puedo asegurarlo, pero parece cosa de la diafonía entroponética. Ocurre en ocasiones cuando las transmisiones cruzan largos trechos a través del pálido.
Outwardly, they both exude calm, but there's something disturbing about this thought to both of them. Pale, 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 pale seems to be missing from your records.
Natürlich halten ihn die Psychologen für vollkommen normal.
What else is there to do? Keep trying.
But someone has been maintaining it. The wiring has been repaired.
Dubois, please acknowledge.
Liebling, bitte. Er ist unser einziges Kind.
Where's she parted? Please identify.
The signals are getting increasingly mixed. Plucking Archer's signal from this will be like isolating a single strand from a tangle of hair.
It's not working. The crosstalk is simply too strong. I did not expect simply locating the signal to be so difficult. We must consider several variables. Local anthroponetic conditions, the sophistication of our transceiver, the quality of our connections, and the physics of our antenna itself. Our transceiver is perfectly capable, so there is no problem there. And we're also unlikely to change our local anthroponetic conditions. So, the next step is to thoroughly inspect our connections. You need to climb up there and look at them for yourself.
But you don't have the technical expertise.
Someone has been maintaining it.
No problem at all. You've already teleported up way greater heights. Something about this setup seems dimly familiar, but you'll be damned if you know what you're supposed to do about it.
You actually haven't. But you have proven that you are a relatively capable climber.
Ay, con lo de la teletransportación. ¡Dios! Esperemos que no me caiga. Hombre, me he teletransportado, es decir, soy maestro de la escalación. Me sé Me sé más de una, es decir. ¿Y esto significará muerte? Increíble. Como escalo, ¿eh? Cómo me convierto uno con el cosmos. Como subo, es increíble.
Your gloves give you a solid grip on the metal bar. This feels pleasingly familiar. You don't exactly cut a lithesome figure, but after several moments of scrambling, you manage to hoist yourself atop the monument.
Dios, cómo escalo, ¿no? Es una increíble capacidad.
That performance was frankly an embarrassment. The connection itself is nothing more than a little braid of exposed wire wrapped about the hoof of the horse. A copper fetter, it cannot slip. The whole monument is covered in a thin but durable layer of oil and grime. It's of the programmer mentioned ammonia, but anything alcoholic should dissolve the oils, creating a cleaner and clearer connection. It takes a few moments, but the alcohol gradually begins to break down the oils surrounding the copper wiring.
Is this really the time, Detective?
It's all right, Lieutenant. He's simply cleaning the connections.
Exacto, ¿quién confía más?
Once the oils have been dissolved, you wipe off the connections with your sleeve and reattach.
Me he purificado, soy una persona nueva.
It seems to have made some difference, but unfortunately not enough to alter the overall situation.
Unser einziges Kind. Er kann doch auch nächstes Jahr zur Akademie gehen.
Short of changing the shape of the antenna, I'm not sure what else we can do from here. And the lorries are all jammed together, so that's unlikely to happen. What do you mean? You adjust the antenna manually, with your hand. Ideally, narrow the receiving mode so that we can isolate the warship signal and eliminate the crosstalk. But if you don't know what you're doing, of course you could just make it worse. I'm afraid we're out of alternatives. You're just going to have to go for it.
She's right. The responsibility is yours, and yours alone. There's no turning back now. This faithful steed is in nearly as poor a condition as its rider. You are face to face with Philip III. The Bronze King looks toward the west. Not intentionally. It's a matter of perspective. The king was never meant to be seen from such an angle as you've attained. The sky is opaque with dark clouds. Somehow, the raindrops seem to fall more slowly from this angle. You turn to the east, but the visibility is quite poor. You see no sign.
Gracias por esa tirada más.
Your grip is firm, yet controlled. The swelling in your headset guides your hands as much as your hands guide the bronze horse head. It's almost like you're hearing through the horse itself.
That's very good. Just a bit more to the left.
Nein, Liebling!
The signal is clear. The storm has passed. This is another voice, a live voice on the other end of this invisible bridge you've established.
Try it now, officer.
Lieutenant Dubois, this is Coalition Warship Archer. We are acknowledging and accepting you.
Aha! Excellent! You are connected. Now be quick. I don't know how long I'll be able to preserve the signal.
There is so much you wish you could ask. Your efforts have bought you some time, but you can't forget what you're really here for.
Contacta, vale.
Please be advised that you are speaking on a public frequency. What is your request? Acknowledged. To reach the committee, all you need to do is fill out the appropriate request form and submit it to the liaison for public affairs. If the liaison accepts your request, you will be invited to address the committee at their next quarterly public hearing. We believe the next hearing is scheduled for July. We're afraid that is quite impossible, Lieutenant Dubois. We cannot transfer you to the committee because we are not entrusted with that responsibility. We are simply the second signaler. That is the nature of the command pyramid, yes. Most modern organizations work in a similar way, even the RCM.
This line of argument is quite pointless. You should abandon it.
Es que tengo empatía muy poca. El ego de superestrella aferrado al pasado, loco. ¿He aferrado al pasado? Ah, vale, porque estoy arriba. Esto en verdad me lo podía quitar. Porque menos una de... Ah, no, pero... Es una dificultad en todas las pasivas de constitución. Buenísimo, ¿verdad?
Not a problem. If this is a time-sensitive matter, you may file an emergency address request with the liaison for public affairs. They typically respond within a few weeks.
What part of need to reach the committee doesn't she understand? Time to lay it all out.
We will hear your request, Lieutenant Dubois. Although we must inform you that the committee does not typically intervene in personal matters.
That's only because they haven't heard about your problems yet.
So, you're experiencing acute memory loss. We don't see how this is the committee's business.
Good God, here we go.
We're afraid we don't understand at all. What does this something have to do with your lost memory? Unfortunately, we cannot accept your request. We really have no idea what you're talking about. But we are quite sure it is beyond the purview of the committee of responsibility. Now, please excuse us while we update the receiving frequency. This connection will be cleared in 4...
Quick, hang up on her first. And the line goes. The lieutenant gives a long sigh as he removes his headphones. He looks up at you.
I think it's best for you to climb off the statue now, Detective. Your real work is done here.
There's a damp cold running up the insides of your thighs. Your legs have grown stiff. You've been up here quite a while. You look around. The strikebreakers are still shouting their slogans and waving their hand-painted signs. Beneath you, the lieutenant and the programmer have begun disconnecting a few cables. There's really no point. You're beginning to feel like the little child who refuses to come down off the carousel.
Good. Now give me a hand with these amplifiers. Leave the cables. I don't feel like making 2 trips.
What's one more trip across the waterlock?
Yep. Si nos estamos pasando bien. No sé cuánto me queda.
Well, this was an interesting collaboration. Really? I do not think we were all that successful. But maybe the RCM has a different definition of success. In any event, just leave that equipment here. I'll put it away later. If you'd like, you can take one of the extra headsets. I don't need so many spares. Now you'll excuse me. I have to get back to my own work.
Ojo, tengo... Más una de voluntad, más tal. Necesito... Vale, eso lo podemos hacer ahora. Más desde mundo interior. Me suena una reacción. Interesante.